You're listening to an audiobook from Empower. This is the book Dare to Start by author Manh Cuong. In the printed version, there are various calculation templates that are not included in this audiobook. Please support the author by purchasing the printed book through the link below in the description. Thank you. Business model. Consider this the most important chapter and the summary of the whole book. During my high school years, mathematics was my most dreaded subject. It was not that I was less intelligent. I think I was a pretty smart kid when I was in school. But back then, I just could not figure out how learning algebra, geometry, sine and cosine, logarithms, etc. could be useful in real life. I often sat in class wondering how these were used in real life. As a teenager growing up in a small business family, my parents were also known as business calculus people. But they also could not explain how the equations I was studying would help me in the future. Since I could not figure out why I needed to learn those math equations, I did not study. Everything I did in math was just managing to pass exams so I could go to the next grade. I was mistaken. I now blame myself for failing to study math in the past. What has changed in me? I started a business, beginning with a simple break-even point and progressing to probability ratios, and then could watch the financial chart rise and fall. I realized that mathematical formulas are inextricably linked to my life and business success. I took a notebook once again, going back to my math studies. Just like in life, much of what we learn becomes practical only when we put it into practice. A lot of times when you go to a certain training course and listen to it, everything seems to make a lot of sense. But when you start applying what you have learned, you will find that there are lots of problems, and only when you resolve them will you be able to truly understand the lesson. Start drawing your own business plan by answering 10 simple but valuable questions. With this set of questions, we have consulted many different large and small business models. Begin by answering these questions, and then we will move on. Only after you have answered these questions will the things we have covered become a lot more practical. You do not have to answer correctly. After you have answered, you can still edit your answer. First, get it done, then perfect it. Doing business is similar to constructing a building. No one would dare stay in that building if there is no architectural drawing that took the important factors into account beforehand. Even if you are working on construction day and night, you will never be able to see your dream building completed. Similarly, to be successful in business, you need to have a blueprint that outlines a right business model in which the following factors need to be calculated first. 1. Who is your target customer? 2. What problems do you solve for them? 3. Who are you competing with? 4. What distinguishes you from them? 5. What are your potential risks? 6. When will you reach the break-even point? 7. How will you survive until the day you gain profit? As simply as possible, I want to use coaching, questioning, to walk you through the steps of turning your idea into a successful business model. Consider this as a roadmap to completing your business model. 10 steps to a blueprint of a business model. Take out a piece of paper large enough to answer the 10 questions in the section below, each of which will take you a step forward. I usually use A1 or A0 paper because it is large enough to allow me to draw the answers. Note, you should use drawings as much as possible. Please answer using keywords only. You can create a detailed version later. An example of a keyword answer would be if you said, after 10 years, I want to have a coffee shop chain under the ABC Cafe brand, in which case it is enough to enter the keyword ABC Cafe chain in the blueprint. The goal is to have an overall idea of your model when you take a quick glance at it. After completing your paper blueprint, spend at least 3 days writing down each item in detail for the following 10 questions. 1. What problem do you want to solve? Business is the exchange of solutions for money. When you create a product or service, it has to be a solution for someone. You are not just a barber, you also help to beautify and solve hair problems. You are not just a foreign language teacher, you help your students gain confidence in their daily communication and succeed in their work. Who are you? What problems do you help solve? What do you help them, the customers, to achieve? Example 1. We are Empower. We assist you in creating your startup blueprint so that you can stay clear and focused on the path you will take to ensure your success. 2. Who will you be in 10 years? You can get closer only if you look far. It makes no sense to create a business model with the expectation that I will just act and that it will eventually reach wherever it will in a year or two. Long-term vision will help you stay focused, so you need to define who you will be in 10 years. You will then divide your roadmap into 6-month intervals to determine which goals to achieve. After defining your 10-year vision, it is time to create a simple logo and a business name for yourself. From now on, you must identify yourself with that name and logo, even if you do not register a company. 3. How will you make sure your product succeeds? Before you start promoting your product, take a step back and look at the big picture. Use the following 6 powerful questions. 1. Does it generate much or little profit? 2. Are the market needs big or small? 3. Is the selling cycle fast or slow? 4. In the future, will the need be more or less? 5. Is the risk high or low? 6. Is the competition strong or weak? 4. Who are your target customers and how do you get access to them? Identifying your target audience will help you understand their behavior, thoughts, habits, spending patterns, and language. This also determines how and through which channels you can reach them. Will you wholesale, supplying goods and services to businesses, B2B, or retail, supplying goods and services directly to customers, B2C? If it is B2B, do you have a special partner for the distribution of your product? Who are they? Are they committed to you in the long run? Are there any commitments? If it is B2C, how will you approach customers through communication? How will you take care of your customers? 5. How much profit do you make? Helping people solve problems must yield value in return, and money is an important representation of value. Only then will your solution be able to help more people and last longer. What activities generate income for you? Who will pay you? What is the percent of profit before expenses, gross profit? What is your monthly revenue expectation? 6. How much does it cost to have a customer? Is there a profit if there is a customer? How much does it cost to have a customer? Is there a profit if there is a customer? How much marketing money do you need on average to bring in one customer? This is referred to as the customer acquisition cost. What is the average amount of money that each customer brings you? This is called customer lifetime value. This is if 1, 3, or higher. Good. That means that for every dollar spent on marketing, you can acquire 1 customer. If you average their purchases and make a profit of 3 or more, that is a good indicator. 7. Who are your competitors? What differentiates you from them? Do as much research on your opponents as possible. Your competitors are direct competitors in your niche and reach. Has anyone provided a solution similar to yours? What are they doing? What makes you better than them? What is your sharp spearhead in the 5 basic competitive strategies listed below? Also remember that at each stage, you can choose a different competitive strategy to achieve your short-term goals. 1. Is the quality superior, according to customer expectations? 2. The cost structure is lower, so the selling price is better. 3. Customer care is better, more friendly, customers are better understood, and they are well taken care of. 4. Sales channels provide better, easier, and faster customer access. 5. More effective communication. 8. What kind of people do you need to succeed in this business model? There are 3 personality types that make up a successful business. 1. The leader's personality. 2. Personality that is required for success. 3. A must-have personality to get through a crisis. The above 3 personality traits form the foundation of the business values, ensuring long-term success in the work culture and overcoming the business's crises. In addition, there are fundamental value factors such as what kind of skills do you need in people working for you? What does your current team have and what does it lack? What will you do to make up for what is missing? 9. What are the risks? What should be monitored? How? Any business idea is good. However, whether you succeed or fail depends on how you manage risk throughout the process. Some suggestions for risk control. 1. Risk of losing cash flow, running out of gas on the way. This situation is while building a house, the money runs out. Always predict your cash flow for at least 6 months to 1 year ahead of time and keep track of it. 2. Market misperception risk, as in a Vietnamese proverb. At home, mother is the number 1, child is the number 2, but out in the market, many are better than us. Your product is always good in your eyes, but what do customers say? Always solicit customer feedback to make timely changes. You must inquire. If you do not ask, they will not tell you. Customer complaints are business gold. 3. Personnel loses momentum. Difficulties are the beginning of discouragement. Everyone is enthusiastic at first, but what will you do when they get bored? Always protect internal business relationships. Deal with small problems in a big way. 4. Losing a strategic partner. Put all your eggs in one basket. Never base your entire business model on a single supplier, input, or distributor, output. Always have an alternative backup plan at hand. 5. Risk of losing a competitive advantage due to a lack of protective barriers. Prevention is better than cure. For each competitive advantage, you must create barriers to protect it from competitors that want to take your market share. Here are some suggestions for preserving your competitive advantage. Legal protection. Protectorate, monopoly, patent, contract, regulation, etc. Protection by brand marketing. Example, customers hold a different place in their hearts for Apple than they do for Asus or HP. Protection by exclusive partners or closed distribution channels. 6. Other, of course, there are many other risks. Always update the cockpit, tools at scbm.biz for the best management. Sashta 10. How much money do you need to start a business? What will you spend it on? You need to answer 4 basic questions. 1. Do you need to rent business premises? How much money is needed? 2. Do you need to invest in repairs, buy equipment, or get a license? How much do you need? 3. Do you need to buy goods, materials, etc.? How much do you need? 4. To operate, a minimum of 3 to 6 months. Cash is required. What is that number? The sum of the 4 numbers above equals the amount needed for the initial investment. How much money will you spend each day when you wake up in the morning? Suggestions for common fixed costs. 1. Renting premises costs. 2. Electricity, water, Wi-Fi, etc. 3. Depreciation. 4. Fixed employee payments. 5. Other costs, if any. When does it reach break-even? The break-even point is the point at which the number of products sold or money collected is sufficient to cover costs and other expenses. You have no profit, but also no loss at this point. Gross profit equals selling price, purchasing price, fixed costs, rent, electricity, water, fixed salary. A lot of times people pay me just to ask them these 10 questions. Answer these 10 questions to create a blueprint of your business model on paper. You can also create a free SCBM account at scbm.biz to answer directly in the Swiss Create Business Manager strategy tool software. Summary: 10 keys to a successful startup. 1. What problem do you want to solve? 2. Who will you be in 10 years? 3. How will you make sure your product succeeds? 4. Who are your target customers and how do you get access to them? 5. How much profit do you make? 6. How much does it cost to have a customer? Is there a profit if there is a customer? 7. Who are your competitors? What differentiates you from them? 8. What kind of people do you need to succeed in this business model? 9. What are the risks? What should be monitored? How? 10. How much money do you need to start a business? What will you spend it on?